The man gets what he is destined to get. The part 2 of the story. By the time these events had become common knowledge, the night was over. As dawn broke, a great crowd had gathered at the merchant's house. Hearing this story, hearing the story that was on everybody's lips, Princess Moonlight arrived there. Learning of these events that had opened by word of mouth, the policeman's daughter also came there. Not only that, the king himself, informed of the great concourse milling at the gates of the merchant's mansion, arrived and spoke to Mr. Justdesserts. Now, look, sir, speak freely. Tell me everything as it happened. To this, Mr. Justdesserts' only reply was, "A man gets what he is destined to have." The princess now remembered him and added a line, "God himself cannot violate this law." Then the policeman's daughter spoke yet another line, "Therefore I grieve not. I am not dismayed." Having listened to it all, the merchant's daughter added a line that completed the verse, "What is ours can never be another's." After promising immunity to everyone concerned, the king arrived at the whole truth by piecing together the separate narratives of the events provided by each of the persons involved. Finally, the king accorded great honors to Mr. Justdesserts, giving him his daughter in marriage, with a grant of 1,000 villages. Then a thought struck the king that he was without a son and heir. He had Justdesserts anointed and appointed as the crown prince. Justdesserts lived happily ever after in the company of his whole family, enjoying all comforts and pleasures that life has to offer. Now you see why I said to you, a man gets what he is destined to have. "And the rest of it," said Goldy, concluding the tale. Again Goldy continued, "So I reflected upon this carefully and was relieved of my obsession with the treasure that I had lost. What wisdom is contained in the following verse? One sees with wisdom, not with the eye. Conduct, not birth, is the mark of breeding. Contentment is prosperity. Turning away from the wrong is true learning." Since friend and brother, wife and son desert the man with whose wealth is gone to return when he is wealthy again, it seems only wealth is next of kin. Having reflected in this manner, as I went back home, Lightwing the crow here came to me the moment I entered my residence, and mentioned the journey he intended making to this place. Therefore I had accompanied him to visit your honor. Thus I have related the causes of my depression to your honors. Indeed, it is truly observed. Slowcoach, the tortoise, having listened to Goldy's story of his life, now began offering him consolation. "Ah, my friend," he began, "you must not lose heart because you have been forced by circumstances to abandon your native land. Wise as you are, why do you allow yourself to become so disoriented? Consider, possessing mere book learning, men remain fools. The man who acts using his knowledge, he is wise. However carefully selected, no drug can cure the sick by mere mention of his name. Therefore, dear friend, we should always strive with energy. Where can wealth or pleasures find a home? Mark, as frogs seek wealth, as birds a brimming lake, so too wealth and allies resort to a man with enterprise. Your honor ought not to take the following maxim to heart: teeth, hair, claws, men when out of place do not shine to best advantage, and from it draw the conclusion that a coward's conclusion. No one should abandon his native place. To a man of metal, there is not the slightest distinction between his own and a foreign land. As the saying goes, warriors and scholars and beautiful young women make a home for themselves wherever they go. The man who mounts an enterprise with skill and expertise is always a master of wealth. But even so keen as an intellect as Brihaspati's, yoked to a listless enterprise fails, and that is certain. The fact that your honor lacks resources at this point in time does not, however, make you an ordinary person, for you are richly endowed with intellect and spirit. For as we all know, the man of metal, though he has no wealth, still touches the topmost peak of high esteem, while the scurvy knave, surrounded by riches, sinks to the lowest of places. Nor should you worry as to how to live without wealth, for wealth is perishable, manliness is lasting, as it is wisely pointed out. All of a sudden, a noble man may fall, but his fall, like that of a ball, is upspringing. But the coward who falls stays fallen, call it the flattened out fall of a lump of a clay. But why speak at length? Here is the crux of the matter. Listen. Some are born to enjoy the pleasures that wealth buys, while others remain merely the watchdogs that guard it. How well the point is made in this verse. A man might not enjoy the wealth he earns unless fate has dealt him a share in it. Little Simple, the great forest, entered only to become quite bewildered. Oh, how was that? Asked Goldy, and the Slowcoach began the tale of Little Simple, the weaver.